listening in. Now, if I was to say Ceylon, you'd be thinking about tea, but what if I said Amulree? Well, you better get used to it, because Amulree in Perthshire is home to a tea plantation. I think there's 2 or 3 in Scotland. But it's time to speak to one of the people involved with it. We've got Derek Walker on the line. He's down in our London studio. Let's find out why he's in London, if he is all the way from Amulree. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, Fred. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's cut to the chase. You're in London because? Tell the listeners.
Well, we just love London and we came down for a holiday.
Aye.
No, it's
on.
a very, very exciting time. The wee tea company, I think, should be renamed the big tea company. Today we are selling our loose leaf tea grown in Scotland, a Scottish white tea grown in Scotland, and a Scottish smoke tea at Fortnum and Mason, one of the grandest tea emporiums in the world. And they're taking on our tea this morning, so we're doing tea tastings down in Fortnum and Masons today.
All right, and you're not getting a badge of honour that says that somebody in the royal household enjoys your product?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know much. I don't know whether I can comment on anything like that.
All right, well, let's leave that to the side then, and we shall move on. And I can ask you, where do you actually get the plants for?
The plants themselves, we bring the plants in and we propagate them from a very early age. We can start with, now we're actually taking small cuttings from our plants, which are sitting about 2 foot high at the moment. When we're processing the plants, we're only taking off the top 2 leaves and the bud at the top. But the plants themselves, they're looking grand on that Scottish hillside up in Amulree, just outside Dunkeld. And
they're all outside. They're not under polytunnels or anything like that?
Nothing like that. But into the winter, there's not a lot of action going on over the winter. So we do just have to protect them. I think the secret with it is to protect the bulb of the plant, because I think if you can convince the bulb of the plant that it's in a different climate, it seems to be very happy. And there's no shortage of water, Fred.
No, that's for sure. And can I ask, what is the soil like? Is it different from China and India, where tea is traditionally grown?
Well, the soil's what gives the tea its unique flavour. And well, you can imagine being in the Scottish Highlands there. We've got this lovely heathery soil, lovely peaty soil, and it works for the plants. It just gives it its distinct region. If you think of grapes with the terroir, given the wine its unique flavours, it's similar to our tea grown in Scotland. It's not comparable to anything else in the world.
Do you know, I've just inhaled from one of your bags here, and it takes me right back to my childhood when we used to get loose leaf tea. Have
you got a proper old-fashioned breakfast tea sitting in front of you from our box ranged, our box blends?
I believe it is.
It's got a lot of Assam tea in it, that blend that you've got there. That takes me back right into my granny's kitchen.
Oh, me too.
There's a huge amount of Assam in it. Sorry?
I didn't even know I knew your granny.
Have you been in my granny's kitchen? You would love my granny. She used to eat it off the spoon, would you believe? She had lovely teeth.
Is that right?
Yeah, she did.
We're just actually making some just now. The other one that we've got is, we've got a smoky one as well. I don't know that this is, maybe this is not a breakfast one, but it's quite brittle.
Does it look like a full leaf that you're sitting with there, Fred?
Yeah, I've got,
that's extremely prestige. That is our smoked, grown in Scotland, specifically grown in Scotland tea, and the leaves there are smoked using birchwood, just collected less than a kilometre away from the actual plantation itself, and it's cold smoked. So we put the tea into the smoking oven along with the birch wood to give it a delicate smoky fragrance, being compared to a Lefroy, and great with cheese. I understand. I was speaking to a chef the other day there. It says that he thinks it would go lovely with cheese.
Now it is quite dry, and if I take it, as I say, it's quite brittle. Is it wrong to kind of break it up, or would you just pour it into your kettle or your tea maker as it comes out of the packet?
I would leave it as a whole leaf there, and the less you do to that leaf there, because it's a white tea you're drinking, it's not gone through any great oxidation process, and so there's very little caffeine in it. I would enjoy the full leaf, and then when you brew it, you can enjoy looking at the leaf as well. That it'll just infuse beautifully there.
Is it right to use water that has just come to the boil, or do we let it settle for a while?
I would let it settle for a while. I think really around about 85 degrees if you've got a thermometer sitting there with that particular tea. But you don't want to burn the leaf, if you like, with the white tea.
You can do that, right?
Can you see some buds there, Fred?
Yes, you can.
Some little silver tips.
What is that?
Have a taste. Put one in your mouth. They taste very light and nutty. When you're plucking the plant, you take off the top 2 leaves and this bud that sits in between the leaves themselves. And those buds, needles, silver needles. You may have heard of a silver needle tea. That's what they are in amongst that white tea that you're tasting there.
You were saying your granny used to chew it. Was that after she'd made a cup of tea with it, or did she just take it straight out of the bag?
This interview is going to be about my granny now. She used to take it off the spoon, and I'm talking about an old-fashioned black tea. Before it was brewed. But right enough, when it was brewed, it was kind of thick and dark as well.
Would you ever add anything to this tea, Tam? Milk or anything to sweeten it? Would you, if your taste allowed? Or is that just crazy talk?
If you're sitting drinking that white tea just now,
yeah, I'm just about to take a sip.
Yeah, that white tea, I wouldn't touch it. I would just enjoy the earthy flavours.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, going back thousands of years to the Buddhists who were first tasting the tea. I mean, rumour has it there was an emperor who was sitting with some boiled water and some leaves fell from a tree and fell into the cup, and he tasted it, and he believed he was consuming, he was drinking nature, and bringing himself closer to Mother Nature, and that's really what we want to do with this tea is to give people the freshest leaf with the least amount of processing, with no air miles, grown in Scotland. You really are taking yourself closer to the land.
But you would happily export, wouldn't you?
I'm sure we would, yeah. But certainly at the moment it's exclusively been retailed. That particular tea that you're drinking is exclusively been retailed in Fortnum and Mason.
That's fantastic. Well, Derek, thank you very much as well. Tam, I think, was speaking to News Drive last night about the wee tea company in Perthshire. I said that there are other plantations in Scotland. Am I right in saying that?
No, not as far as I know. I'm certainly not that I'm personally aware of.
Right.
Certainly we're the largest in the UK. And also what's quite exciting, Fred, is that we're already in discussions with other farms in Scotland who are looking to grow the tea themselves. Now, that might be further ahead than I'm aware of. Right. So it could well be that there are other plantations under the name of the Scottish Wee Tea Plantation. So it is exciting times. It would be great to go on a tea trail.
Derek, thank you once again. Back into Fortnum and Mason's. There's loads of stuff you can get there for having with your cuppy.